You may remember, folks, an ongoing problem we've been tracking on the show with condo balconies. And if you follow the show, you know there have been a number of condo associations, not only here in Louisville, but really around the country, right, Brad? And maybe even around the
Right.
world, right?
Yes. Yes.
So they haven't taken care of the balconies, and they're in a state of disrepair, and there are safety hazards and concerns. In some cases, it's also caused problems with being able to sell the condo units because banks who are aware of those problems will not loan money on them. So, that being said, one condo complex this week actually had another meeting looking at an assessment, excuse me, of more than $15,000 per condo for a Juliet balcony. Well, they've come up with a new plan. What actually is interesting, Brad, you and I talked about this
Mhm.
using aluminum
Yeah.
prefabricated balconies, correct?
Yeah, right. So I think they've had found a manufacturer for the prefab balconies that could be built off site, shipped in to the condo here in the Louisville area, and then installed. And I think the question that came up was the installation crew and the engineering that went behind it. Who was going to accomplish that? How was it going to get done? And what engineers were they working with? Because yeah, it sounds like a nice, neat package deal, but I think the bigger question is who's done the engineering to figure out how it's connecting to the buildings and how are they going to keep them safe throughout the years that they are expected to last, and then how do they prevent that deferred maintenance issue from coming up yet again with these prefab balconies.
The good news is the price on these prefabbed aluminum balconies is a lot less money. We're talking about 11,000 per condo on average, but it could be a
Yeah.
little higher, obviously, after
Yeah.
install. But a lot less than what was being quoted before, 15 to 25,000 per condo
Yeah,
unit.
and I think with this association, they had a balcony that kind of put it back to the same type of usage that
Right.
they had prior to and I don't know that a condemnation of the balcony was the right way to do it, but obviously converting to a Juliet balcony, you lose that ability to actually go out, onto the balcony. So it looked like a good solution if installed and maintained correctly.
So I followed up on this, and Corey, you might find this interesting. I drove by the building, and in the middle of the building, there are three of the what would be these aluminum, eventually aluminum balconies that would be side by side, which would actually be for just one condo unit. Currently, the owners of those balconies on those floors can walk from one end of the balcony to the other end of the balcony, but the aluminum balconies will have prefabbed sides to them, preventing the home owner from moving from one end to the other. And I guess the question that I had been asked is there a way to cut a door or some sort of opening so that the owners could go from one end to the balcony and use it more the way they have it now? But I don't know that that's even possible. Huh? Yeah.
Yeah, that would be an engineering design question on that.
Yeah, no kidding.
Wow. Well, I
Yeah.
mean, it sounds like, Bob, you're still staring down that marketability question, even though this might be a cheaper option, as was the Juliet. Does that impact the marketability on a future resale and how they're using those balconies as homeowners?
Cora, that is a great question because I did some case studies to try to figure out what would the value be of a condo without a balcony or with a Juliet balcony, which, folks, is just like a little gate that goes in front of a sliding glass door, for a better or worse definition. And I came up with basically some numbers, somewhere between a 15 to 25% reduction in the value of a home for not having a balcony as compared to when you do have a
Wow.
balcony. So it's a
Wow.
big number and worth providing some sort of balcony and doing it, coming up with a compromise of the aluminum balconies, I think is the way to go.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, and Bob, it's
Yeah.
not too much unlike when you go on vacation. You're staying at a hotel, you're on a cruise ship. What do
Right.
we want? We want the upgrade. We want the balcony.
You want the balcony. And even if you don't use the balcony,
Exactly.
you want the balcony. That's like people who want to buy homes, they always tell me they want a fireplace, they want a formal dining room, and they want a jacuzzi style bathtub in the primary bathroom. And then when we go to sell it after they've lived there a number of years, I ask them, so did you use the jacuzzi stuff? No. But we had it. Did you use the dining room? No, but we had it. But they did use the fireplace for the most part. Okay.